Hello and welcome to another update video about Solana. So yeah, Solana is still hovering around that $40 level here. I mentioned in my last video or videos that Solana is, in my opinion, one of the cryptos that is, at least what the current Elliott wave count suggests, is one of the cryptos that is closest to bottoming out, which means closest to complete the overall correction. Yeah. That is what the current wave count suggests. And the reason is that it did not in the last few days make an extended move up like some other cryptos. So some cryptos, they retraced to the upside quite a bit, like ADA, like Bitcoin. Ethereum did that as well, even though it's dropped off quite quickly again. But Solana didn't really do that. It did stay on this lower level, and we are going to dive into here this lower level wave count in a minute. But from a higher level point of view, Solana had its impulsive wave up to the upside here in a wave 1 back in November 21, and then came down in a double zigzag pattern, so WXY, consisting of ABC, ABC, ABC. Yeah, so it's just an extended corrective wave that we can currently see on various crypto charts actually. And however, this double zigzag is part of a wave 2. So you move up in a wave 1, which is the first impulsive wave, moving down in a wave 2 here currently, and the next wave up should be the wave 3. A few people asked me, reason for concern, Solana dropping off so much, network outage. I mean, the network outages aren't great, and that is what everybody has to decide for themselves. You know, do you trust Solana or not? If you want to invest in Solana or not. I obviously look at it just from a chart point of view. And of course it will have an impact on the price. Yeah, you know, if people lose trust, of course it will have an impact on the price, but we also need to acknowledge that we also had network outages on the way up here. And again, that just tells me it doesn't really matter. It is always when something happens in the where the sentiment in general of the crypto market is already very negative, and then you have a network outage over a few hours. It's like people talk about doom and talk about it being the next Luna. Whereas when we moved up here, I remember that when we moved up here and we had an uptrend, yeah, and I think we had was the network outage here from the wave 3 to the wave 4 a completely normal retracement, yeah, for a wave 4, and people were like, oh, this is because of the network outage, whereas it was just the wave 4, you know, and especially here you have a 1 2 and the 3 4, and the 4 is normally doing the opposite of what a wave 2 does. The wave 2 was very shallow, so the wave 3 was very strong. Look at the charts, it will tell you the news, yeah. It is just what it is. But generally, of course, fundamentally, there might be an issue with these network outages. So if you're uncomfortable with that, look at a coin, cryptocurrency that doesn't have that many outages or no outages at all. ADA, I'm sorry. No, joking. So it's up to you. Of course, you know, we need to understand, it is a very young market, and probably reality is in 10 years, a lot of the coins that are there today, a lot of the cryptos, in 10 years, they won't be there. I would even believe 80 to 90% of the coins or projects that are there today will have disappeared in 10 years. I think Bitcoin will still be there, ETH probably, and some of the top 10 cryptos. But the top 10s, we have to be honest as well, they're changing every few years, so be aware of that. It is a risky market, yeah, and anybody who wants the highest degree of safety and security, go with Bitcoin and maybe ETH. Yeah, that is what is generally, you know, probably, you know, something that would make sense for anybody who doesn't want to risk a lot. But of course with Bitcoin as well, it is still highly volatile compared to many stocks and shares. So, but looking at Solana here from a chart point of view only, we've seen that we've already retraced down here pretty much 80%, 90%. And also with regards to it being the next Luna, I've made an announcement yesterday to the Telegram chat or channel members yesterday. I think we shouldn't overestimate things like that we have a network outage. It won't immediately lead to it being the next Luna. There are issues in many, you know, many crypto projects have issues, and just because we have some negative news, we shouldn't always think it's immediately going to zero. Yeah. Even here, Solana, which is now, and I should draw that again, which is between that well, the $30 level is here. I don't know, it disappeared, my target area, but the $30 level was here between the, is the 88.7% fib level, and $55 is the 78.6. So normally if an asset drops below the 88.7% fib level, it's not great. That would be below $30. And Solana can very well drop below the $30 level. That is absolutely possible. But we also need to acknowledge that it is basically this was Solana's first major bull run. So it can do it. It is allowed. I would allow it to drop below the 88.7% fib level for once in its first bear market, without having major concerns about its future from a chart point of view. Because as I said before, any asset that drops below the 88.7% fib level, it's not great for its potential recovery. But because it's Solana's first major bear market after its first major run to the upside, I wouldn't be majorly, super concerned. But let's get into the lower level wave count here. So obviously we came down in a wave 3 here, moved up in a wave 4 that I think is complete, and Solana did it here very well. He did this, it's probably a diagonal structure to the downside, in which we would now expect another leg down. Yeah. So here in the fifth wave, that could actually complete the overall correction. Yeah, because you came down here in the wave 3 in green, you moved up in 4, you come down in 5, and that wave 5 will complete that higher level wave 2, which should really complete the correction. Yeah. Now, okay, this could become a different pattern, but for now I see here we had a bit of a corrective move up. This looks very corrective, so not impulsive to the upside, just corrective, which means we should see one more move down that could then hit here the support level of this channel, maybe around $33. And then I'm not saying the correction will be over here, the overall correction. I'm telling you that we then need to see if there is any bullish reaction to any kind of support level that may be down here. Very important, yeah, very important. So we want to take a look at that. We want to keep an eye on that, because this is, in terms of the lower level Elliott wave count, really the one that is most promising to finish its correction off very soon. It just is what it is. And yeah, of course, if it loses this level here, if it loses support in this channel, it can go down all the way to $20. I mentioned that before. $20 was one of the targets. Here, that is the previous support around $20, around May, June 21. We had a lot of support in that region between $19 and $22. So that is certainly sort of my worst case actually for Solana. And that would mean that's still another 50% drop. But I think there will be, for most cryptos, one more major drop. One more capitulation where people really are going to get super scared and will then leave. And that is when it's starting to go up again. But yeah, this is very interesting. So obviously we're still hovering above the $40 level, sort of, or fighting around it. The $40 level was very important because this is the wave 3 low here, the previous swing low. And even we haven't really, we're coming back to that level currently. It's sort of, I could even draw a line here at 41. This is where those 4-hour candles closed. So maybe it's more $41 level, and you can see we can't get above that anymore. We currently can't get above that anymore. We already see a red engulfing candle starting now, and this move up is very corrective. You can just see it. There isn't enough power. Yeah, we made a lower low. There isn't enough power yet. Now that could become something, but at the moment it's not. So we just have to assume that because we are still in a downtrend, the downtrend is going to continue. And this is currently happening. And a move below here, 38.79, the previous swing low, or even better, where the wick ends at $38.12, that would confirm that we make a new lower low. And then I think we're going to test in the next instance the $35.30 level next. So for me, this is still an active downtrend in a channel. So I'm still waiting here for one lower low, and then need to see if we see a bullish reaction. Personally, I think it's still a bit too early to talk about the correction being over, but this is what the wave count suggests at the moment. I mean, we need to see if we drop even lower, then there will be another possibility to make that work also based on the wave count. But this is for me actually currently the most, the wave count that makes most sense. Yeah. And that's how I can see it at the moment. There's still a possibility we can move up here into this yellow target area first before we come down. But at the moment, this is really only low probability because I can't see that happen at the moment. There is no signal for it. There is no signal for it. I would only consider that really if we break once more above the $48 level. Yeah, but at the moment, we are not there. We're not there. And what is happening here is just very corrective, which means there should be another move down. And then we could hit the support level of this channel, which would be around $33 roughly if that happens today. Okay, so that is my view here about Solana and its wave count at the moment. Very interesting times, and it will be interesting to see what happens if we make a lower, should we make a lower low here on the price on the daily, for example. I think what we might get is we might get a bullish divergence on the daily. That is a good sign, or the daily RSI. And if we then start to move up, that would be a good signal. Yeah, I think we need to make that lower low, because at the moment the structure that we have here itself, the price structure in general, doesn't really yet for me confirm that we are, because what you would expect is in a possible breakout scenario to the upside, you would want this to count this here already as a wave 1, then a wave 2 down, the next wave 3 up, but I can't see it yet. Yeah, I can't see it yet. Therefore, I keep a very close eye on the chart at the moment, and I will definitely let you know if we see any changes in the chart. And in my opinion, message here is that we are very close to the low of the overall correction. Yeah, and even though I think we haven't seen the low yet, I think we will see one more dip. Don't complain when we suddenly start to move up, yeah, because Solana, as I said before, has completed all the minimum requirements it needs to do to complete this higher level correction. So it has done all, it has come down far enough in its wave 2 that matches this wave 1 up here. It has done everything. So if the chart at any point decides to turn around, we can see if a new bull run starts, which I think won't start before we see a lower low, but you know, if a new bull run starts, we will see 20-25% moves in a day. Yeah, and that is when people then, oh, is it too late? I wait for a retracement and so on. I'm just saying, you know, don't be surprised if at any point in time, overnight or something, such a move starts, and then we'll, you know, and then people will start to panic. You get this, you know, you will get these kinds of moves here. Here we moved from like $44 to $80 like in a couple of days, yeah, 2-3 days. So be aware that this is going to happen and make your decisions accordingly. All right, that is my view about Solana. Hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.